Chat. Chat. What's good, chat? I literally, chat, was so scared to go on live. I haven't slept literally in 2 days, and it's 4 in the morning, so today we're just gonna watch some videos. Can't really sleep, you know. Look at it right there. So we're just gonna watch some videos and hope you enjoy. Let's get right into it. Let me put my chat there. Oh, sorry, I don't have 2 monitors, so. First video is we're gonna watch this one here. Actually, we're gonna watch a Ludwig video. How I became the biggest streamer in the world. I'm gonna watch that right quick. Get cozy, chat. Oh.
Goal to become the largest streamer in the world. I even had a stint last year where I stayed live for an entire month, amassing tens of thousands of viewers and hundreds of thousands of subscribers, only to be beaten out by a Quebecois man known as XQC. If you don't know XQC, he's an anomaly. He averages 10 hours live every single day. He's a psychopath, an unmatched man who's determined to always be number one, and number one he always is. Look at this article that came out when I did my subathon. XQC was unsurprisingly the most watched streamer on Twitch in April 2021. Unsurprisingly? Well, today, that's all about to change. I've hatched a plan to
let me see if my audio works.
On Twitch in April 2021. Unsurprisingly? Well, today, that's all about to change. I've hatched a plan to
It works, chat. I'm actually so excited that I'm actually live streaming and showing my face. I'll look better next time. The lighting's not good, and my mic is not good. But you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Alright, let's get right to the video.
To dethrone him as the #1 biggest streamer in the world. How? Simple. The moment XQC goes live, I'm also going to go live on my channel. I'll copy his secret formula bar for bar, but on a larger website, YouTube, where more people will find me, and I'll become a bigger streamer than even XQC himself. The first step to cracking the code of XQC is figuring out when he's going to go live. It changes every single day, and sometimes he'll be live for 10 hours or maybe even 20, 30 hours total. So I went undercover into...
He's crazy. I think I can do that. If I can stream at 4 a.m. and not be able to sleep, I think... Not 30 hours. 30 hours was crazy.
...his Discord to try to figure out that exact information. How's it going? Do you guys know when XQC will be live?
Yes, he's live right now.
Is that Ludwig, bro? Ludwig, is that you?
The plan was a failure, but I was in luck. It's Sunday. Every weekend, streamers get together to play Among Us during Sussy Sundays, a real name created by actual adults. I convinced one of the key participants, Saikuno, to invite XQC to Sussy Sunday. The event starts at 2 p.m., which gives me just under 2 hours to become XQC. The first step...
There ain't no gangsters in this game anymore. I mean him.
I'm coming for everyone. I'm the job. I'm the kicker.
Let's see who is the real guy.
In becoming XQC is getting rid of my current stream setup. Although I think it looks nice, I use a 4K camera and a complex audio system, whereas XQC has always been against having a high quality setup.
Yo, that's us right now. That's us right now.
I hired someone to look through 30 hours of XQC streams to figure out exactly what technology he uses. We then bought all the same exact equipment and set it up to look exactly like his current stream room.
Yo, what's up, guys? How's it going? Cam's over here? Is that right?
Yeah.
And then he just stares at his game?
Yep.
And he looks at Chad like this?
Yep.
Fuck!
These are the two rooms side by side. Just to ensure that no one would get confused that they're watching XQC while watching my stream, I made sure to change the mountains in the background. The next step is how XQC titles his streams. He uses a combination of emojis in capital letters to convince viewers it will be an unforgettable experience.
Chat, should we do this for a stream? I think we do this for a stream, chat.
So I found emojis that resonate best with 16 to 24-year-olds and crafted an almost identical title. I scheduled my stream to start at 2 p.m., ready to play Sussy Sunday alongside
4 a.m., baby. 4 a.m.
XQC. There was only one problem.
He's 3 hours late.
I waited around for a few hours, assuming he would be a bit late, but there seemed to be no end in sight. I went through XQC's offline chat, his Discord, and I even tried to reach out to his manager, but I still had no success in tracking him down. It wasn't until 5 hours later that I discovered
Chat, drink water, chat. Drink water, chat.
XQC was hanging out in popular slots and gambling streamer Trainwreck's TV's chat. This revealed to me that he had skipped out on the event to gamble. He eventually went live 9 hours later at 11 p.m. To ensure that I would accurately mimic what makes XQC successful, I hired a technical director to watch his stream and relay what XQC was doing to me.
Okay, so just relay what's happening in real time?
Yeah, I'll just do like 30 seconds after.
Sure.
Inside my headphones, I'm hiding AirPods, where he'll relay the information
I tuned into the stream. I didn't know he was doing this. That's such a smart idea, Ludwig.
to me, and I can copy step
Ludwig.
by step everything XQC does on stream. At the start of stream, XQC made a surprising move. He went live talking to his chat, but his microphone wasn't working. A simple technical mistake could have been a secretly genius move to seem more relatable to his audience. So I unplugged my microphone and did the same thing.
Chat, spam one if you hear me. This is what Kai does. Spam one.
I had to plug the fucking mic in.
My bad. I didn't plug in my microphone. It appears that XQC starts every stream updating his chat on his life and includes funny anecdotes trying to connect with his audience.
We get to Best Buy, and we get there like 1 minute too late, and they're closed. And the guard says, no more. And some employee.
Yo, do you know what's weird? A lot of good streamers, they stutter. Like Baghdad chat, Baghdad, Kai, Aiden, XQC, Speed, Gideon. They all like kind of stutter. Hold on, let me plug this in. So, do you think they stutter because they're just talking to chat all day and they just can't think and they just... Or is it because it's relatable? I don't think so.
He comes from the back, opens the door, and she says, let him in. And we're like, huh? And then the girl says, why? I'm not kidding. She says, because he's a streamer. Damn!
So I did the same. I think my PC's just fried. I literally created a PC setup for this. I went to Best Buy. I had to buy a PC. I had to set it up from scratch.
He talks just like
Hi, Daddy.
He switched from full cam to his default and he's reacting to chat. He just has chat up with the cam in the corner now.
Is this where Atriok leaked from?
But we gotta start. We're gonna watch what's going on in the world. YouTube trending, YouTube news.
He said he's going to start looking at YouTube trending, YouTube news to see what's going on in the world.
Oh my god, dude, I feel like I missed an entire day. What happened today? Let's take a look at some YouTube
Can you
videos.
do a shirt on heads?
Okay, now we got that out of the way.
He's browsing r/LSF.
The amount of small creators you gave content to was amazing, just so you know.
Oh, speaking of small creators, wait, maybe this is an insulting transition, but this is one of my favorite clips of all time.
When I was really young, I'd have an iPod Touch, and I'd Google whatever I wanted.
SmashCon production messes up.
SmashCon production messes up.
What? No, guys! No, he didn't! What the? Production!
I haven't seen Forsen in a minute. Wow.
He's now playing the word game Spell It on Merriam-Webster.
Things became a bit more complicated.
Spring's a really good time to get into the garden. If you don't know where to start, come to Bunnings. All the team is so helpful.
When I would copy things XQC was doing that weren't normal things that streamers would do. And it's very important that I don't allow my chat to know that I'm running an experiment. If they discover I'm copying XQC, they might leave to go watch his stream instead of mine. I had to transition everything XQC was doing in a seamless way that wouldn't draw too much attention.
Chat, I'm so tired, chat. I'm so
I want to see how he transitions from watching YouTube to trying to do Merriam-Webster spell it. I don't think he can make this transition without making it obvious.
Wait, don't link this. What is this? Is it a test for English majors? Start the quiz.
Yacht, as in a yacht cruised into the harbor. Guerrilla, as in guerrilla warfare.
Say it faster!
Spontaneous, as in spontaneous applause. Accommodate, as in the hotel can accommodate our group.
Accommodate. What did I do wrong?
Privilege, as in it's a privilege to meet her.
I guess I did okay.
Disappoint, as in that performance did not disappoint the crowd.
Two P's? Yeah. Holy shit, that was fucking bad.
Yo, Dizzy, give me the map. I'll finish it. Okay, if I don't finish this, I don't do the games.
The first major hurdle came when XQC decided to do CSGO surfing, a game I had never before played on stream. To convince my chat that this was a natural and organic idea, I fabricated a chat message suggesting that I play the game. Play GeoGuessr? What's a game we've never played before that's like a chill game? CSGO surfing? Is it hard to surf? I feel like I'd be good at it. It's just kind of like Trackmania in air, right? I've never surfed. I'm down to try.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna work.
Literally 4 in the morning.
This was the shortest stream XQC had done in the past 3 months, and somehow it was the exact stream that I decided to copy. Up to this point, there were a few people who were a little suspicious of what I'd been up to. They even called me out as an XQC copy at some points. But to make sure I was faithful to XQC's stream, I decided to mimic the most iconic part of his stream, his outro.
I'm gonna call it and take a nap because I'm fucked. But chat.
Thanks for hanging out.
We hope you enjoy your stay.
He plays the same looping video and song every single day. I revealed to everyone the experiment that I was running that day. I had a guy in my ear the entire night telling me what XQC was doing, and I copied bar for bar his stream to become the biggest streamer in the world. But now we're left with one question. Was it successful? My goal starting out was to copy the biggest streamer in the world in hopes of becoming the biggest streamer in the world. Before this stream, I had averaged about 20,000 viewers every single time I went live. This stream, I averaged about 12,000. Part of this could have been because I was streaming from 11 p.m. to 7 a.m., one of the worst time zones for English-speaking viewership. It'd be easy to write this off as a failure, but worst time zones could have been because I was streaming from 11 p.m. to 7 a.m.
11 p.m. to 7 a.m. I'm right there. Bad for English speaking. Hell yeah, I'm writing this down. I'm trying to be a streamer. 11. Chat, write this down, chat. 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. Worst for English viewers, speaking viewers. Thanks, Lovewood. Put me on some game.
One of the worst time zones for English-speaking viewership. It'd be easy to write this off as a failure, but I noticed something reading some of the comments after I unveiled that I had been copying XQC. Turns out it was some of your guys' favorite streams, so maybe there's something to this XQC guy. There are people who are better gamers. There are people who put millions of dollars into innovative projects, and he does none of that. Half the time, he's not even creating original content. But
he got some good takes. He makes it up. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to just watch some videos and just talk. And I'm sorry I'm pausing the video, but like, you know what I'm saying? It's 4 in the morning. I'm trying to talk. You feel me?
he's a familiar face who's always down to hang out. So no, my 7-hour stream did not break records. But I think if I did that every single day, I would be a new home for people to go to. And that's what makes XQC so special.
Just look up his XQC stream for the entire night.
Bar for bar his stream to become the biggest streamer in the world.
Huge stream, new setup, a fun-filled day, yes, Pog. Okay, dude. Okay, dude.
I do the opposite. You see that I do the opposite, and I do Ludwig stream. Bar for bar copying streamers. But am I bar for barring the bar for bar that Ludwig did to XQC, and I'm just copying what Ludwig? I like that. Got a little sticky notes, chat. Because, you know, I'm learning, chat. You know what I'm saying? I'm learning, and I'm in the game, and I'm just learning. Which, did I tell you that I'm learning? So we're going to watch these videos right here. These are like, you know, some hard thinking videos. We are going to stop a lot on these videos so we can talk about it. And because I'm selfish and I want to talk about it. And I want people to talk to me and say that if they think the same or different.
About LastPass at the end of the show. This is a video about research into slowing the rate of aging.
Chat, would you rather live forever until the world ends, right? The world ends and you're still alive. Or not.
And extending the human lifespan.
Or just live until like 200 years. Is 200 years enough? Some people will say no. You get me? What do you think?
So before I filmed this, I wanted to know, what do you guys generally think about such research? And I made a Twitter poll where I found that the majority of people were supportive and thought there should be more of it.
Okay. I did stop the video a lot. I have been stopping the video a lot. But if aging does exceed and we do increase life, human life, does that mean more dangerous diseases come? Does that mean more war? More murders? More people alive? More people, you know, entitled to kill someone because they're going to live forever, and then you have a disagreement with someone, you're like, bro, he's going to live to 200. Might as well. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think there's all benefits of slowing aging, but for the right people, yes, it'll be good.
But there were some important concerns.
Look, so I don't want longer life. That's a fair point. Like 80 years is pretty good. Some might say. I wouldn't say that. I would say like more. Selfish and destructive. See, that's what I was saying. That I could gain more worse, and usually I would assume superior, like people are gonna have the anti-aging stuff. So it is selfish for them because they're doing it for them. They're not doing it for everyone else. And some say it's impossible. So like you're playing God.
And I want to address those here at the beginning. I mean, the most significant concern was, if we're looking to extend human lifespan, does that just mean we'll have more sick years where we'll be in bed with Alzheimer's? Nobody wants that.
What I see, chat. I really like that, chat. I really like that. See, I'm smart, chat. I'm not really smart, but like I know, like, you know what I'm saying. Talk to me.
And that was clear to me. But the professor that I was interviewing for this video, Professor David Sinclair, points out that as you get older, the risk of horrible diseases, things like diabetes and cancer and arthritis, all those sorts of things, it increases exponentially. And so if this research is successful, the whole point of it will be to...
So then, if it decreases, right? What would be the reason for them to die? Old age? Like, is old age as correct form of passing away, or is it because a heart stopped, a heart failure? You know?
Forestall those sorts of diseases. I mean, if you really are tackling aging, then you should also see that those age-related diseases do not set in so quickly. So the point of slowing aging and extending human lifespan is to extend the healthy lifespan, also called the health span. The other concerns I saw were that people were saying, well, this could be used only for the wealthy and increase inequality, or it could increase the population of the earth, causing, garbage, more CO2, where the resources to feed all these people. I think these are valid concerns, but they're not part of the scope of this video. So if you want to discuss them in the comments, feel free. But the point of this video is to address, can we slow aging in humans? Can we extend the lifespan and the health span? And what does that look like? How do we do it?
I need to find the best way to learn math and science.
It's brilliant.
Whoa.
Here's a new way to learn math, science.
Okay.
Yo, I'm actually I don't know, I'm going all over the place, but I'm actually thankful for you all. I'm actually thankful for you guys for supporting me. Bro, I'm actually thankful that I can actually go online and actually talk to you guys. So appreciate it.
So for this video, I traveled up to the Bodega Marine Lab, which is north of San Francisco, and there I got to see some moon jellyfish. Now what's fascinating about these moon jellyfish is some people consider them immortal. How can that be?
Right, so all these jellyfish have this complex life cycle where they start off as a polyp, which is basically like a small sea anemone, and then they'll go through a metamorphosis and become a medusa. And the medusa stage is what we generally think of when we think about a jellyfish. And in most of these species, the polyps are generally able to asexually reproduce, and they can regenerate if tissue is cut off of them or if they're damaged, and they don't have any clear evidence of senescence, which is the term for biological aging. So they appear to have some degree of immortality. No one had reported their ability to do this until, I think this was 2015.
So do moon jellyfish hold the key to slowing aging and extending our lifespan? Could they help us live forever? Before I...
Chat, what's the most, like, if you had to pick an animal, right, that literally had no repercussion, could just go, not exist in the world, right? What animal would it be? Would it be a jellyfish? I think the purpose of jellyfish, they feed turtles, they eat plankton, and they are part of an ecosystem. But if it went away, what would happen? Now, what's the most like animal that could get extinct right now and wouldn't really affect anything? Or are all animals, if they were to get extinct, it changes the whole environment as a whole? Think about that.
Got into making this video, I would have put this sort of research in the same category as downloading your brain, your consciousness into a computer. Like, I can see how maybe that would work, but I don't think we're anywhere near that because we don't even understand how the brain works or how memories are stored. So that seems like serious science fiction. So I would have put, say, extending the human lifespan to 120, 150 and beyond in the same category. But after reading Professor Sinclair's book and doing an interview with him, I think it seems much more possible, and in fact plausible, that we'll make some progress over controlling aging in our lifetimes. Now, if you want to slow aging, the first question you need to answer is, why do we age in the first place? I mean, what really is aging? I've made a video in the past about telomeres. These are the end caps on your chromosomes, and every time a cell divides, the telomere gets a bit shorter. So it was thought that these telomeres are kind of like the tips of your shoelaces, and they prevent the chromosome from fraying. But there are other signs in older bodies that you have old cells. There are an accumulation of things that are called senescent cells. They're essentially these zombie-like cells that just go on living in your body and inflaming the cells around them. There's poor intercellular communication. There's mitochondrial dysfunction. Those are the powerhouses of the cell. There are these 8 or 9 different features of older cells, and they are the hallmarks of aging. But the question is, are they the cause of aging, or are they kind of the result of a deeper root cause? In the middle of the last century, the hypothesis was that it was damage to our DNA, mutations to our DNA that happened over the course of our lives that led us to be older. But evidence since then has suggested that that is not really the case. I mean, you can take an adult cell and you can clone it into a new organism. And that organism appears to live about as long as non-cloned organisms of the same species.
Now, the first sheep, Dolly the sheep, had a short lifespan. She died early. But cloned animals, you can now clone a monkey, you can clone dogs. In fact, Barbara Streisand, the actress, she cloned her dogs. And they're expected to live a normal lifespan.
So in that way, it seems like all the information is still there in the DNA. So if we're not losing information in our DNA, then what is the reason for aging? Well, Professor Sinclair suspects that it's a loss of information, but not the information in our DNA, in our genome. No, Professor Sinclair suspects that the loss of information is in our epigenome. So what is the epigenome? Every cell in your body has the same DNA, but different cell types have different epigenomes. They have different ways of packaging that DNA, coiling up, a lot of it so that it's not red, and leaving some parts of the DNA spooled out so it's easier to transcribe and turn into proteins and run that cell. So the epigenome is responsible for turning on or turning off different parts of the DNA. And the way it does that is with proteins called histones that essentially the DNA is wrapped on, and also things like methylation. So there's these chemical signaling markers which are placed on the DNA in certain positions. So the idea is when your body is first forming, the epigenome is what tells your cells what type of cell to be. But as you get older, Professor Sinclair's hypothesis...
There are 3 types of longevity gene. They're the ones we work on called sirtuins, and they control the information in the cell.
Imagine for a second working 20 hours per week and earning $34,000 in that month. Wouldn't that be nice? This is a result that a recent student of ours has gotten. Now let me...
In fact, SIR in the sirtuin stands for silent information regulator, number 2. There are other ones. The other group is called AMP kinase, or AMPK. This group of genes senses how much energy we're taking in, mostly that turn on the sirtuin pathway and trick the body. And so, for example, in the lab, if I give some of our mice a molecule called NMN, which raises the level of a chemical called NAD, you get hyperactive defenses in the body.
And what did you see in these, senescent mice that you gave NMN to?
Well, we had a bit of an incident. These mice that we gave NMN to ran 50% further, but actually some of them ran so far that the machine, the little treadmill, stopped working. And we had to reprogram the software because this program had never seen a mouse that ran more than 3 kilometers.
3 kilometers for a mouse?
For an old mouse. They outran the young mice.
And that's like an ultra marathon for us.
That would be probably like taking a 70-year-old and making them run faster than a 20-year-old, further. So these are ultra marathoners. And if we did that to humans, imagine you could have 90-year-olds winning Olympic medals.
Is that a good thing? I don't think that's a good thing. Because they still have ongoing injuries, right?
So to sum up, there are 6 things that you can do right now to slow the rate of your aging. Starting with 0, avoid DNA damage. Wear sunscreen, avoid x-rays, and all that sort of stuff. Number 1, eat less, caloric restriction. Number 2,
Eat less. Eat less?
eat less protein because your body has ways of detecting how much of that you're taking in. Number 3, do some exercise, high intensity interval training. Get your heart rate up to 85%, make your body feel like you're running from a lion or something.
If it says sleep, I'm fucked.
Number 4, be uncomfortably cold. Or number 5, be uncomfortably hot. All of these things will trigger your body's longevity genes into maintaining your epigenome, going into
Sauna, cold plunge,
repair and protect mode rather than grow and reproduce. And if you think about those things, those are generally all the things that we don't do. But what if slowing aging isn't enough for you? Well, this is where my interview with Professor Sinclair took an interesting turn, because he's actually done some research on reversing aging. So how would you do that? Well, effectively, you would need to take the epigenome and reset it back to an earlier time. But how is that possible? Back in 2012, a scientist named Yamanaka received the Nobel Prize for discovering 4 factors which, when applied in a gene therapy to an adult cell, would reset the whole epigenome back to how that cell was when it was an embryo. So it is what is called a pluripotent stem cell. Now, you wouldn't want to apply that to your entire body because, well, then you would turn into a giant tumor because your cells wouldn't know how to differentiate. But it does suggest that there are ways of resetting your epigenome, and they could be the key to reversing aging.
The big breakthrough that we just had in my lab, only about a year or so ago, was to reprogram the eye of a mouse. And the eye, we chose the eye because that's a very hard thing to fix, right? If you go blind when you're older, we think that's a one-way thing. You're never going to recover your vision. But we decided, let's try it anyway. Let's go for broke. So we put a gene therapy in the eye of old mice, turned their retinas to be young again.
They are literally playing God right now. Like,
Reversed aging in their retinas. So those 1-year-old mice went back to about 2 months. And guess what? Those mice could see again, just like they were young again.
How do you reset one of these eye cells without resetting it to just a stem cell?
Well, we have to be very careful not to reset these cells to be basically a stem cell. Otherwise, we wouldn't have mice that can see. We'd have mice with a giant tumor in the back of their eyes. So what we do is a couple of things. We didn't use all of the 4 reprogramming factors that won the Nobel Prize. We used just 3. We leave off one called MYC, which causes cancer. And those 3 seem to be just the right recipe for taking the age of the eye backwards, but not too far. Then the second thing we do is we turn it off. We can actually turn this system on when we want and off again. So that we don't take them too far back in age.
Can you do that with any cell?
We think we can do this in any tissue. We've now given it to the whole mouse, and those mice are fine. No evidence of cancer. They seem to be really quite healthy. So the big question is, can you take a mouse way back, the whole body, and be totally young again? Maybe back from 2 years back to 2 months. And that's what we're doing right now.
That's pretty exciting.
It's freakishly exciting, actually. I thought we'd just slow down aging. Now we're talking about an aging reset.
that's so scary, bro.
You know what? We've only reset the age of the eye once. How many times can we do this? Maybe it's twice, maybe it's 100 times.
So Professor Sinclair claims that was that there's at least a roadmap, at least a path ahead where you can see that it could.
Alright, that was a good video. Probably a bad choice to watch at 4 in the morning. But nonetheless, we're gonna watch this one.
Is probably the most important Nobel Prize ever awarded. It was given to German scientist Fritz Haber for solving one of the biggest problems humanity has ever faced. His invention is directly responsible for the lives of 4 billion people today. But when he received his prize, many of his peers refused to attend. 2 other Nobel Prize winners rejected their awards in protest, and the New York Times wrote a scathing article about him. He is simultaneously one of the most impactful and tragic scientists of all time. Perhaps more than any other single person, he has shaped the world we live in today. Part of this video is sponsored by Ren. More about them at the end of the show.
Outrun the dark, keep our eyes open, Mount.
If you are an American citizen and you find an island with a lot of bird poop on it, well then you can claim that island for the United States, and the US will have your back. The president is authorized to send in the Navy and the Army to defend your newly discovered poop-covered island. There are currently 10 American islands that were claimed in this way. And even though the law that made this possible was passed in 1856, it is still in effect to this day. So why did people want poop-covered islands so badly? There are a few dozen islands off the coast of Peru where millions of seabirds gather to mate. And the waters near the island are full of fish. And these millions of birds eat the fish and then they poop. A lot.
But who eats the birds?
Since the region is hot and dry, this poop solidifies and accumulates over millennia. There are cliffs of bird poop 30 meters or 100 feet high. Technically, bird poop is called guano, and by the mid-1800s, buying and selling bird guano was big business. The price rose as high as $76 per pound. meaning you could trade 4 pounds of guano for 1 pound of gold.
So why was there such a big market for bird poop? Well, to answer that, we have to look inside the human body.
That's so stupid. You can just get 4 birds, fucking feed it breadcrumbs, and they can just shit. And you can, oh, but they have to shit on the rock.
By weight, most of our bodies are made up of oxygen, carbon, and hydrogen. But the 4th most common element is nitrogen. Nitrogen is part of the amino acids that form proteins. It's part of hemoglobin, the compound that carries oxygen in red blood cells. And it's a central component of DNA and RNA.
Yo, I'm sorry, I need to subscribe to this guy, because... Subscribe.
Nitrogen is essential for all life on Earth. We get our nitrogen by eating plants, or animals which have eaten plants, and plants get their nitrogen from the soil. The problem is, if you farm the same soil year after year, you harvest the nitrogen out of it, and eventually there isn't enough nitrogen for healthy plants to grow. They can't produce enough chlorophyll to photosynthesize, which stunts their growth.
Why not just get a bunch of birds and get like a bird feeder?
Their leaves turn yellow, and they are more susceptible to pests and disease. Crucially for farmers, nitrogen deficiency means smaller yields. The way to fix this is to add nitrogen back into the soil, which is where bird guano comes in. Guano is up to 20% nitrogen. Hundreds of years ago, Incan farmers realized that adding guano to their soil made crops grow taller. This is what allowed them to grow food in places that were previously unfarmable and expand their empire. South America's rich deposits of bird poop did not go unnoticed by the rest of the world. In 1865, Spain went to war against its former colonies of Peru, Chile, Ecuador, and Bolivia for control of their guano-laden islands. But such was the world's appetite for nitrogen that by 1872, guano was running out, and Peru banned further exports. The world would need another way to get its nitrogen fix. This was a crisis. William Crookes, a British chemist, made a dire prophecy in 1898. With the world's growing population and dwindling supplies of nitrogen, he said, "We stand in deadly peril of not having enough to eat. In less than 30 years' time," he argued, "people all over the world will be dying of starvation." But he also proposed a solution. It is the chemist who must come to the rescue. It is through the laboratory that starvation may ultimately be turned into plenty.
Because here's the thing. Nitrogen isn't rare, it's common. 78% of the air is nitrogen. But it's in a form that plants and animals can't use. 2 atoms of nitrogen triple bonded together. This bond is one of the strongest in nature. The way to measure the strength of a chemical bond is by the amount of energy that's required to break it. So, to break apart 2 chlorine atoms, for example, would take 2.5 electron volts. To break apart 2 carbons requires 3.8 eV. 2 oxygens, 5.2 eV. But to break apart 2 atoms of nitrogen requires 9.8 electron volts, a tremendous amount of energy.
There are 2 processes that do this naturally. Lightning releases so much energy it breaks apart N2 into individual nitrogen atoms. They then quickly react to form nitrogen oxides, and these molecules stay in the atmosphere until they react with water droplets in clouds and fall to the ground in rain. There are also a few types of bacteria living in soil that can break the N2 bond, using a tremendous amount of energy to do so. And they make nitrogen available for plants.
But bacteria only replenish the nitrogen slowly, and there's not enough lightning to produce nitrogen compounds at scale. So chemists tried. In 1811, Georg Hildebrandt mixed nitrogen and hydrogen in a sealed flask, trying to make ammonia, one of the nitrogen-containing molecules found in guano. When that didn't work, he submerged the flask 300 meters underwater to increase the pressure. That didn't work either, but he was on the right track. Increasingly sophisticated versions of these experiments were carried out over the following 100 years. All of them failed. So when Fritz Haber became interested in this problem in 1904, he was joining a long line of failed chemists. He was 36 years old, working as a low-level academic at the University of Karlsruhe. He was also a new father, with a 2-year-old boy named Hermann and a wife, Clara, who was one of the first women to get a PhD in chemistry. Driven by pride and competition with another scientist, Haber spent 5 years on the problem. His idea was to combine nitrogen and hydrogen not only at high pressure, but also at high temperature, and in the presence of a catalyst, something that lowers the amount of energy required to split diatomic nitrogen. To do this, new experimental apparatus had to be invented. Haber worked tirelessly on this project, building equipment that could tolerate ever higher temperatures and pressures. He also got lucky. At the time, he was moonlighting as a technical consultant for a light bulb manufacturer. So there he had access to lots of really hard-to-find materials, like the element osmium. Osmium is rare. In his day, there was only about 100 kilograms of the refined metal in existence. But the company he worked for was experimenting with using it for filaments in their light bulbs, so they had most of the world's supply. Haber suspected it might make the perfect catalyst, so he brought a sample back to his lab. And there, in the third week of March 1909, Haber placed his sheet of osmium in the pressure chamber. And then he pressurized and heated the nitrogen and hydrogen to 200 atmospheres and 500 degrees Celsius. Under these conditions, the triple bonds broke apart, and nitrogen reacted with hydrogen. Of the total gas mixture, 6% turned into ammonia. When the gas was cooled, 1 milliliter of ammonia dripped out the end of a narrow tube into a beaker. An elated Haber rushed from one lab to another, yelling, "Come on down, there's ammonia!" Germany's biggest chemical company, BASF, commercialized Haber's process. Within 4 years, they had opened a factory in Oppau, producing 5 tons of ammonia per day. People spoke of making bread from the air. With the fertilizer from this industrial process, on the same plot of land, farmers were able to grow 4 times as much food. And as a result, the population of the Earth quadrupled. There's a good chance you owe your life to Haber's invention. The Earth supports 4 billion more people today than it could without nitrogen fertilizer. In fact, around 50% of the nitrogen atoms in your body came from the Haber process. The invention made Fritz Haber a wealthy man. He got a promotion, becoming the founding director of the Kaiser Wilhelm Institute for Physical Chemistry in Berlin. He also befriended some of the best scientists of his day, including Max Planck, Max Born, and Albert Einstein. After Einstein separated from his first wife in 1914, he stayed the night at Haber's house. But if Haber was so well regarded, why was he shunned by colleagues when he won the Nobel Prize? Well, it all comes down to what happened in World War I. When the war broke out, Haber volunteered for military duty. Unlike pacifist Einstein, who denounced the war, Haber was a patriot. He wanted to use his expertise to help his country. Only a few months into the war, the German army was already running out of gunpowder and explosives. Ammonium nitrate, besides being an excellent fertilizer, is also an explosive. Just look at what happened in Beirut in August of 2020. A warehouse containing almost 3,000 tons of ammonium nitrate caught fire. And in the extreme heat, the fertilizer detonated. The blast, which could be heard hundreds of kilometers away, killed at least 217 people and injured thousands more. Seismometers registered an artificial earthquake measuring 3.3 on the Richter scale. This is just one of many fertilizer-related explosions. The Oppau plant, where Haber's process was first put into practice, would also explode in 1921. And the reason is nitrogen. We've already seen that it takes a tremendous amount of energy to break apart nitrogen's triple bond. But the flip side of that coin is that when two nitrogen atoms come together and form that bond, a huge amount of energy is released. The explosions of gunpowder, TNT, nitroglycerin, and ammonium nitrate all form diatomic nitrogen gas as a product. And the formation of that triple bond is where these chemicals derive much of their explosive energy. Haber lobbied to convert the factories using his process to make ammonia for fertilizer to create nitrate for explosives instead. His superiors believed such a conversion to be impossible, but Haber persisted, and soon his chemical process was at the heart of the German war machine. From bread out of the air to bombs out of the air. But Haber thought chemistry could make an even bigger contribution to the war. In December 1914, he witnessed a chemical weapons test. He was unimpressed. Haber believed that he could do better. He set out to make a gas that was deadly at low concentrations and heavier than air, so it would sink into enemy trenches. Projectiles carrying chemical weapons were banned, at least in theory, by the Hague Convention of 1899. But in practice, after the start of the war, Germany, France, and Britain all experimented with chemical weapons. Haber converted his wing of the Institute into a chemical weapons laboratory, and after only a few months of work, he zeroed in on chlorine gas. An employee, Otto Hahn, expressed his discomfort about the new weapon. Haber told him, innumerable human lives would be saved if the war could be ended more quickly in this way.
Okay, my Raid Shadow Legends legend.
At 6 p.m. on the 22nd of April, with the wind blowing toward the Allied trenches, German troops released 168 tons of chlorine from over 5,000 gas cylinders. The wall of gas advanced across the battlefield. Since chlorine gas is 2.5 times heavier than air, it sank into the trenches of the Allied soldiers. Any soldier that inhaled a lungful of the gas suffered a terrible death. Chlorine irritates the mucous lining of the lungs so violently that they fill with liquid. The soldiers effectively drowned on dry land. More than 5,000 Allied soldiers died this way in the first attack. Haber was promoted to the rank of captain, and a week later he was back home in Berlin. On the 1st of May, the Habers hosted...
He thought he was doing something good. It's like a moral thing, like, would you rather kill 2 people by accident or 3 rapists? Like, you know what I mean?
A dinner party. And after the party wound down, Fritz took sleeping pills and went to bed. But that night, his wife Clara took his gun and went outside into the garden. And there she fired a single shot into her chest. Her 12-year-old son Herman heard the shot and ran outside to find his mother as she lay dying. The next morning, Fritz Haber was on a train to the Eastern Front to supervise a gas attack on the Russian army. Some have claimed Clara killed herself because of her husband's obsession with chemical weapons. And that may have been part of it, but honestly we don't know because no first-hand accounts survive that support this interpretation. What we do know is that Clara was deeply unhappy in her marriage. In 1910, after being married for 8 years to Fritz, she wrote to a friend, "What Fritz has won during these 8 years, that and still more I have lost. And what remains ahead of me fills me with the deepest dissatisfaction." After Clara's suicide, Haber spent the rest of the war running his institute, researching chemical weapons, gas masks, and pesticides. By 1917, the institute employed 1,500 people, including 150 scientists. It was like a mini Manhattan Project, but for chemical weapons. In total, 100,000 soldiers were killed by chemical weapons in World War I. When Germany surrendered, Haber was crushed. All the money he made from his ammonia patent was lost to hyperinflation. In an attempt to pay off Germany's crippling war debt, he tried to distill gold from seawater, but the project was futile. In 1933, the Nazis came to power and passed a law that all Jewish civil servants, including scientists, were to be fired from their jobs. Haber was Jewish, but he never practiced the religion. Regardless, his military service exempted him from the law. but he resigned from his role as director in solidarity with all the Jewish scientists who worked at the institute. The next year, in a hotel room in Basel, Switzerland, he died of heart failure.
What's the one last thing?
Immediately after World War I, Haber's institute developed a cyanide-based insecticide. It had a barely detectable odor, so they mixed in a foul-smelling chemical to alert people to the danger. The resulting gas was called Zyklon B. A decade after Haber's death, the Nazis requested chemists remove the foul-smelling component. And this form of Zyklon B, the chemical developed at Haber's
You can't blame that on him though. Like, he's already passed away. He didn't, you know what I mean?
institute, was then used to perpetrate the Holocaust.
Those were the chambers.
Thinking about this story, it would be easy to paint Haber as a villain, or as a hero, for inventing the process used to feed
I don't think, in my opinion, it was more like he thought he was right. He thought he was on a moral way of helping people, but I think he just, he did stop the war, but stopped it in a extreme way.
half the world. But another approach is to regard him as irrelevant to the larger story, because someone else would have figured out a way to process nitrogen out of the air.
True, they were struggling. They didn't have any food. They said they were gonna have out of like population. I'm not trying to like support him or nothing, but like, yeah, it's a fair point. He's just I don't think he's a bad guy. I think he's just a guy who wanted to help and he went too deep and he fucked up at the end.
Air. And other scientists were developing chemical weapons. Over the past few centuries, science and technology have improved our lives immeasurably, but they have also given us ever-increasing ways to destroy ourselves. I think it'd be great to believe that we could ask scientists to only work on problems that are good for humanity. But the reality is that every bit of information is a potential double-edged sword. You don't know the outcome of your research or how it might later be used. Ammonium nitrate is both a fertilizer and an explosive. So the real question is, how do we keep increasing our knowledge and control of the natural world without destroying ourselves and everything else on this planet in the process?
Facts. WV.
So chemistry has made it possible.
WV. 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 It's just a WV. WV. Okay, chat. We're gonna watch another. Another video right quick. B L TV this Tyson. Any fighters in here? Ready for that Anderson Gilbert fight? Well, also make Bill me, you feel me? So we're gonna watch some fights. We should have watched this at the start, but you know, saying that, you know what I'm saying? So like, you hear me? So yeah.
Summer in the morning light, everything's feeling right.
That's my favorite fighter, chat. Who's your favorite fighter, chat? Comment down below. Who's your favorite fighter? Oh, I'm sorry. It's literally 5 in the morning, and I'm snowed up. Haven't slept in 2 days, and I'm talking to you guys, and I'm thankful. And we're gonna watch this, get really pumped for Anderson Gibb. I think it's in like 10 hours. But yeah, let's just get it.
Welcome back to the Big Fight Recap here on BLTV Classic. If you've been following the series so far, you'll know that we've been moving through Tyson's career chronologically, from his debut fight to the Journeyman on to the Contenders, where today we progress to the point of no return, World Championship Boxing.
I've got goosebumps. On the line, the WBC Heavyweight Championship of the world.
At 20 years of age, Tyson was the youngest challenger for the heavyweight title in the history of the sport.
He started the Drake cut, like right on the side. Who started that? I think one of the reps, LL.
Still, overcoming a big, strong, rough and ready Trevor Berbick, who was in his prime, experienced at world level, and 12 years Tyson Sr., on paper, was unquestionably the most demanding challenge Iron Mike had faced so far. Let's take a look. An 18-year-old Mike Tyson turned pro in March 1985. 10 months and 11 fights later, his trainer and mentor Cus D'Amato passed away. 3 months after that, the then 19-year-old Dynamo started taking on respectable gatekeepers in the heavyweight division.
Trouble in both the first and 10th rounds, and now he's in trouble here. Blood coming out from the nose of Jesse Ferguson.
The thing that separated Tyson's hype from the average promising prospect was how he dealt with escalated talent.
Look at here, just laughing at him. As bad as I've ever seen Donnie Long look.
I wanted to hit him in the nose one more time so that bone could went up in his brain.
23-pound weight advantage.
Again. Who's the last guy to stop?
This is an important learning experience for Mike Tyson. He's going to have to be able to handle.
Run-of-the-mill journeymen like Mike Jamison, for example, put up a better fight than proven contenders such as Jesse Ferguson, just as Larry Sims posed a more attacking threat than the likes of Mitch Blood Green.
I'll fight any man alive, and I feel I could beat anyone in the world.
Every size, shape, and stature was dealt with in the same dominant fashion. In other words, Tyson's skill set transcended the competition.
As a pro fighter, I'm the master of the pinpoint. My shots are so accurate and so precise.
Much was the same once Tyson took on the top contenders, as Jose Rebalta took a life-altering beating for 10 rounds, right after Marvis Frazier was turned into 200 pounds of pancake batter inside 30 seconds.
In the fight, I felt the deep in my heart I was going to stop him in the first round.
It usually takes a fighter, especially a young fighter, a few years of experience before they reach their peak. But in Mike's case, he appeared to be the finished article before he ever stepped foot in the squared circle.
If I'm going to do this, well, as soon as I get in the ring, it's a whole different story. I'm the killer then.
By August of '86, just 18 months into his fighting career, Tyson was the flag bearer for the most prized weight category in the sport. He had money, fame, and endorsements coming out of his rear end. But without a championship belt around his waist, his true legacy as a boxing great hadn't even answered the bell for the first round.
But HBO has announced just a couple of hours ago that we will air a series of heavyweight championship fights that will lead to the unification of the heavyweight championship, basically for the first time since Muhammad Ali.
It was at this point, Don King Promotions and HBO teamed up to eliminate the Deadwood from the rankings, launching the now fan favorite Unification Series, which saw all the major title holders and top contenders from each governing body battle it out in a knockout-style tournament that would see one fighter crowned as the undisputed champ within a short time span of only 18 months.
And of course he did.
The Jamaican brawler Trevor Berbick kicked off the tournament in March 1986 with a well-executed win over Pinklin Thomas to win the WBC title. 3 weeks later, Larry Holmes duked it out with Michael Spinks for the second time, where once again the former light heavyweight champion was fortunate to gain the judges' favor with a split decision victory to retain his IBF title. Terrible Tim Witherspoon was the first fighter to bag a knockout in the tourney, beating Frank Bruno into submission after 11 rounds of back-and-forth action. After the champions were established, it was time for the qualifying contenders to get their shot. Stephen Tankstead, Bone Crusher Smith, Tony Tucker, Buster Douglas, and Iron Mike Tyson were the fighters that entered the fray. Tankstead was the weakest link, and that was shown in the opening fight of the quarterfinals, as his spirited effort was overcome by the class of Michael Spinks inside the opening 4 rounds. Next up was the big one, as the newly crowned WBC champion Trevor Berbick put his title on the line against the youngest and most anticipated entrant to the series, Iron Mike Tyson.
Well, Mike Tyson is with us now live from Los Angeles. Mike Tyson has every reason to be confident. Mike, is there any way in your mind that you can see you losing this fight?
No way. Perhaps if I chop off both of my arms.
He's really going in for the knockout now. Big left hook, big right hand by Berbick. Berbick really working for the knockout here.
Trevor Berbick's road to the title was the opposite of Tyson's. He was a low-skilled brawler, an aggressive inside fighter that had to overcome the odds on numerous occasions before the wider boxing community took him seriously. Larry Holmes seemingly plucked Berbick out of nowhere during one of his routine Bum-of-the-Month title defenses, yet the Jamaican showed himself to be durable and capable of fighting at top level, pushing the Easton Assassin the full 15-round limit.
I have so many people to beat, not just Berbick.
Berbick participated in the drama in the Bahamas soon after the Holmes defeat, where this time he overcame the legendary Muhammad Ali in the Louisville Lips final career bout. The entire event left a sour taste in the mouth of sports fans around the globe. Ali was at his most vulnerable, in need of money but physically incapable of competing at high level due to his crippling Parkinson-like condition. Berbick threw the kitchen sink at the all-time great, particularly in the closing rounds, which didn't exactly help build a positive image for the rising contender, instead leaving a large group of fans eagerly anticipating his comeuppance. Berbick went on to beat the popularizing Ali clone Greg Page in the coming months, proving once more that his endurance and aggression could negate the skill gap between himself and the array of uber-talented contenders at the time. David Bay, Mitch Blood Green, and Pinklin Thomas were the other notable fighters Berbick beat on his way to securing the WBC title. By this time, his reputation was that of a fearsome, muscle-bound aggressor with the ability to drag superior boxers into dogfights that suited his style.
I used my horn. You see what mine did? Mine bust him up, didn't it? Oh, I got some power on my left.
Tyson looked set to be his most formidable challenge, yet the same emphasis was felt on Iron Mike's side, with even more elevated pressure due to Berbick being far and beyond his toughest test on paper in the professional ring.
This will be the WBC Heavyweight Championship of the world.
On November 22nd, 1986, Tyson became the
At this point now, coffee has become a passion, and maybe one day I might start my own cafe.
youngest ever challenger for the heavyweight title at just 20 years of age. The reigning champion Trevor Berbick entered the ring in the best condition the boxing world has ever seen. Once Mills Lane delivered the fight instructions, the two were ready for battle.
His whole life has been for this night, but Trevor wants to prove that he's one of the great champions. Let's see how long his reign lasts. Mike Tyson kind of feeling him out here, but he goes with that right-hand lead right away. Standing toe-to-toe is not the way. If he doesn't pump that jab in the face, Tyson will come right through him. Tyson with the left, bounces it off the forehead of Trevor. Trevor tries to work underneath. Tyson will have no part of it. Notice the movement of the head of Mike Tyson as he takes a light left jab. Tyson will be able to get underneath it. Oh, wow! With a right, another left hook that just raises. Trevor, with this bravado, could get in some big trouble in a hurry. Berbick is standing directly in front of him. That is, a left hook that really got him. But this is a poor fight plan. Oh, the right hand gets him behind the left ear. Berbick tries to push him off, not the way to keep him up. Notice the lazy left. Watch Tyson load up with left and right. And we're just in round one. Tyson clips him with a light left that time. As soon as, a light right hand, but the left hook right there. Notice Tyson throws him in twos and threes. Trevor is getting lazy with the left hand. Clips him with the left hand. Look at that, combination. And Berbick ready to go, but he stays on his feet. Another right hand clips him. He can't take shots like this very long. Wow, with the right hand is Mike. Again he's got him. Catches him with a foot. Trevor's ready to go again. Tyson knows that he can score at will now. Berbick doing nothing like he did against Pinklin Thomas. Fighting in the wrong position. Not using the jab the better.
Tyson started perfectly, beating Berbick at his own game on the inside, timing his power punches, asserting his dominance in what was always going to be an explosive, phone booth-style fight. Burbick ended the first with a smirky taunt to suggest he wasn't hurt, but Tyson trainer Kevin Rooney knew it was a facade, as he instructed his man to go and finish the job as quickly as
Tyson
possible.
already on his stool. Here's Trevor Burbick. This is round 2. The WBC Heavyweight Championship of the world. Trevor Burbick and Mike Tyson. Tyson goes to work right away, and he gets Trevor in trouble, and he's done!
A beautiful overhand right set Burbick up for the first knockdown of the fight inside 10 seconds. The Jamaican made it back to his feet, but the shot to his equilibrium left him off balance and powerless to Tyson's ruthless attacks.
Here comes Tyson again. He knows he can hurt him anytime. Left hook, right hand, holding off Mike with the left. And you see instead he goes to body downstairs, catches him with the right hand. Look at these shots. Bangs the body. Wow, that uppercut is Tyson. Catches him with the right left hook, and he goes down. He goes down. He should be able to get up from this. His legs may be shut. They are. As Trevor Burbick falls back in the rope. I don't know if he's going to be able to continue.
After numerous flush power punches, it was a simple grazing blow that sent Burbick down and eventually out for the count as he stumbled across the ring, trying to desperately regain his composure. Tyson had done it. He broke a 30-year-old record set by another custom auto-trained fighter in Floyd Patterson by becoming the youngest heavyweight champion in history, a record that is still set in stone to this day.
Well, the moment I waited for all my life since I started the game of boxing, because my trainer, Kevin Rooney, and I want to get in here. We sacrificed so much and we put in so much, and I just knew we couldn't fail. I refused to get hurt. I refused to get knocked down. I refused to lose. There's no way in the world I was going to go out this ring walking. I had to be carried out. I had to be dead. There's no way I was going to leave this ring alive. I was coming to destroy and win the heavyweight championship of the world, which I'd done. And I'd like to dedicate my fight to my great guardian, Customato, and I'm sure he's up there and he's looking and he's talking to all the great fighters and saying his boy did it.
He's smiling, that's right.
It was reported that Tyson was so overjoyed by his achievements that he just posed in front of a mirror with his new belt for hours after the fight. Customato predicted his man would be the youngest heavyweight champ, and there he was, moments after his supposed toughest test, without a mark on his face and a belt around his waist. He did his old master proud.
Trevor Burbick is a mysterious, eccentric character.
After the Tyson fight, Burbick maintained a steady career as a gatekeeper in the heavyweight division. He never worked his way back to title contention, but that was likely due to his private life taking a dark U-turn after losing his title.
And I don't know what went down, but my experience with Mr. Trevor Burbick and the people, he was kind of like a bully, tough guy, so you gotta be careful. You're a fighter and you're a tough guy. The odds of you living long is just not good.
During his early career, Burbick was an ordained minister of a popular church in Las Vegas, a self-proclaimed warrior of the cross. He visited prisons and schools preaching honor and discipline in the name of God. He felt his stature as a top heavyweight gave him purpose and incentive to better the lives of those around him. Yet, once his star power faded, he began racking up a long list of convictions ranging from assault with a deadly weapon to sexual misconduct with his family babysitter.
God don't like ugly, and he was ugly. He beat anybody. He beat his daughter. Let me forget about that guy.
Burbick was in and out of the correctional system while seeing out the remainder of his diminishing boxing career. He was eventually deported back to Jamaica in 2002, where it's unknown whether he cleaned up his act, but the fact he was beaten to death by a few family members just 4 years later suggests he was still involved in criminal activity one way or another.
I heard of the story. It was some kind of beef over property, I believe.
Burbick passed away in 2006 after succumbing to a vicious assault committed by his nephew Harold, who was armed with a crowbar and fatally attacked his uncle in what has been reported as a dispute over land. His nephew was convicted a year later and sentenced to life without parole in Portland Prison, Jamaica. Burbick had committed a lot of wrongs in the world, but you'd have to imagine the consequences of boxing had taken their toll on his ability to function in everyday life.
That's a subscribe for me. I ain't gonna lie. That shit's addicted to it. This is crazy. This shit's crazy. This is crazy. This shit's crazy. Soft white underbelly. Soft white underbelly. Fentanyl addict. What's a trick interview? I'm gonna watch this one. Talk to me, chat. Chat. Talk to me, chat. Chat. Hey guys, funny. Does anyone watch Fish and Fit? I keep getting suggested it on my thing. I haven't actually watched like a full you know what I mean? Mega fight. That's it, Anthony Joshua. Sneakers popping off, huh? Let's hear some Kill Tony.
Hey y'all, you might not know this, but when I'm not being the host of the #1 live podcast in the world, what I've been doing for the last 16 years is being a professional stand-up comedian.
No way. That was my phone. I need to take a piss, chat. Give me a second. Oh. Count to 32. How long was that, chat? Chat, right foot. You feel me? You feel me? Black on black with the white Air Forces. You feel me? Just straight like that. I actually don't want to watch Kill Tony. I want to watch something like funny. I'm probably gonna be on here for another hour. Then I'm gonna go eat. And then I'm gonna drop my phone. And then when I go back on here, I'm gonna jump right back on here. Maybe I'll like set something out better, you know? ASMR squash, Eero, what is all this? What is that? Whoa, is there like a close up on my face? I look so tired, bro. I'm tired, bro. He broke his jaw, Mike Tyson agreed to fight with Michael Johnson. You know what? Let's just scroll the interwebs, shall we? Explore. Trending. Let's get it. RP. Who is the king or the next after the queen? They all like making fun of her death here. That's sad. Ain't really stuff to watch, huh? I saw XUC play like games. Chess. This is just a computer. Yes, sir. Alright. Friendly, I guess. What do you do here, chat? Talk to me. I don't really know how to play chess like that. I think the common move is we move these. So I'm gonna do that. And then you're gonna do that. This. We're playing checkers right now. Oh, fuck. She can get that. So if I go here, he'll take. If I go here, he won't take, but he will take. But if he takes, then that's a good enough take. I think that's the best. Maybe it wasn't. I don't know. Oh, fuck. I don't know if I'm making blunders or not. If I move this up, he's gonna take. If he takes, I think I'll move up one. He's coming here. I do this. And I definitely take. Check, get. Oh no, because that's there. Check, get. It's literally 5 in the morning. I'm trying to play chess. Alright. So it can't go here, he can't go here, he can't go here. Oh, I just need to get this. I just need to get this part right here. So we push. Okay, I'm not looking at this, but this excellent. Yeah. And we push. I should get my thing is that so boom, 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 boom. Damn. Okay. I think that was a fair trade. Um, fuck, I don't even know what to do. Take, he goes down, I go up. Oh fuck, I didn't see that. Check. Oh fuck. Up. Fuck. You better get another queen. Bitch. Check. I mean, not check, like save. Um. Fuck. Shit, man. Fucked it. Yeah, fuck that horse anyway. Fuck that horse anyway. So, alright, so if I go here, if I go here, oh no, I'm just trying to get this queen. That was a best move. Check. 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 Here, here. Here. Oh, oh. So you can't go here, you can't go here. That was good. That was good. That was good, right, chat? I did well. Did I make XQC proud? And Ludwig? Did I make them proud, chat? Did I make them proud? Okay, here we go, here we go. Because why not? Hmm? Fuck. I think I fucked it. Fuck. Take. Move. Pinned. Pinned that motherfucker. What? Shit, no. Ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha. Can't go here. Can't go here. It just needs this one right here. So pinned here. Now it can go here. It can only go here. So I just need this guy here to here. Or here. Oh. Let's do this. Can't go here. Can't go here. Yeah. I think I fucked it. Fucked it. Shoot. If I put this here, can't go here, can't go here, can't go here. What is predicting that? Yes! Yes! What are you talking about? I made a couple mistakes, but let's see what mistakes I made. Come on. Come on. 7 blunders. My bad. My bad, y'all. Do this. Bang. I know I saw a video on this, so bang. He takes, we make sure he doesn't come back. Then come back up. And then white. He can't go. Fuck, I got trapped. Fucked it. What I gotta do here. Fucked it. Oh my gosh. Resign. 203. I gotta get one more chat. One more. Boom. He's going there, so what I'm gonna do is boom. Boom. He's going down. One more chat. One more. I don't know, they could do that. Boom. We're playing bold. We're going bold. Boom. Boom, boom. Boom. Okay, we got you now. Boom. Boom. You're going boom. Boom. Right? Boom. Ding ding. Oh, and I can get that. Oh no. I didn't see that. I did not see that. I did not see that. We do take this or we don't take this? Good. Check. Boom. Boom, boom, boom. Yes. Alright, last one, chat. Last one. It's nearly 6 o'clock. Last one, bruh. Last one, bruh. Sorry, I'm not even talking to you, but like, I'm actually thinking. Yeah, you going for the. For that. This is like the normal way. Fuck. Boom. Back again. Boom. Boom. Take. Fuck. What I should have done is this. Give me a break, guys. Give me a break. Boom. 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 Take. 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 Take it then. Well, I can't do it again. Oh. Check. Bro, I'm trying to do shit, bro. I just fuck up. Love it. So trash, bro. I did so bad, bro. Alright, chat. Good little stream. I actually am pretty tired now, so thank you for staying up with me, just watching honestly boring ass videos, playing chess out of all the games. And yeah, I really appreciate you guys tuning in. Sorry for pausing all the time. I think we're gonna stop in like half an hour, like 10 minutes. But yeah, it was really nice talking to you, and I just had no sleep, like 2 days straight, just being up, and hopefully I can stream more for you guys, more face cam, preferably maybe in the morning. I might go on again for like an hour or two, in the afternoon or nighttime today, and yeah, one more video, right? One more. Twitch actually did it. What did it do? Oh, and I'm hungry. I'm pretty hungry, so that's probably what I'm gonna do. Go and eat. Go and eat. A lot of Minecraft stuff. Bro, nothing's happening at like 5, 6 in the morning. But like, why though? Like, why though? Someone else is. Oh, to be chat. Talk to me, talk to me. Venom with the cannon. Oh, he's in prison 2 months. This guy, bro, he's about to hit Melly too. Let's see if there's a podcast on podcast. Poddy. Ooh, let's see.
The classic gamer's dilemma. Speed or security? With the new Kaspersky, you get both. Ooh, that's fast. Whew. Ready to game? Let's choose a skin. Pretty cool, but I'm feeling something more epic. We'll keep them safe for you. Oh, and watch any show in the world, from anywhere.
Round one. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to BS with Jake Paul. We are here in Puerto Rico. Episode 5, we have a special guest, Des Bryant, on today. We're switching up the format a little bit, so let us know how you like it. Joined by D-Cut, joined by Julia, my dog shit co-host. Round 1, let's get into it. Lamar Jackson, all-star quarterback, 2019 league MVP, has the most passing yards and rushing yards in a single season, more than any other player in NFL history. He is demanding $250 million from the Baltimore Ravens. However, he was caught liking pictures of himself in a Miami Dolphins jersey. He's sick of these negotiations.
Lamar Jackson negotiating his own deals, getting rid of his agent, that's pretty big right there.
It could be detrimental negotiating your own contracts as a player. I mean...
Wait, sorry, bad pause. But what does the KSI say? Exposes KSI lies, like weirdo. Here, maybe?
Next. Buddy, good to see you. You have a set up right for us. We just all want to know, is it true you are making your return to the ring in January?
You know, we'll see. My manager's here. Maybe you should ask him.
Manager Jeff, give us the exclusive, buddy. The fans want to know, who's it going to be and when's it going to be?
I have answers for you.
Okay.
If you want to know.
Okay.
But it's kind of serious. Look, it's true. I think I'll be making a return to the ring in January on the same card as your arch nemesis and my best friend and business partner, KSI.
Your new best mate, yeah, he smashed it. What did you think of his performance?
Yep, JJ's my best friend.
He said it again. He said it again. That's something we actually will. First of all, wow, breaking news. He will be back in January on the same card as KSI. Huge. But that is something I did want to ask you about. Is he your best friend?
Yeah.
Can you tell me his favorite color?
Well, all right. Well, so I exaggerated on being my best friend. Olatunji is his, well, that's his last name. Does that count?
What's his birthday?
His birthday. Whoa. So I exaggerated on being my best friend.
And this is also an exclusive. JJ, I'm proposing to you that when we fight, if I win, I take half of your prime equity.
Oh, Jesus.
Winner takes all, and I get half of your prime equity. But if you beat me, you get half of my better equity.
Oh my God. Are you insane? What the fuck is
We're putting it all on the line. Which brings me to my next point. Download Better, guys. It just launched. Thank you so much. It makes sports so much better to watch and so much more fun to bet on. So the first game of the NFL season is tonight, and I'm betting my friend $1 Million Marco $250,000.
That's a gambling site.
That the first play will be a run. NFL season we have to do. What up, my guy? $1 richer, bro.
But Steve can't support gambling sites.
We'll see.
How's your wifey? My wifey's really excited to take your money, though.
Yeah, no, I'm going to get Julia probably a new Birkin bag with the money.
Shit, I heard Jake copyrights a lot of videos. Damn. But I guess that was it. That was the expose. Yes. Shanico.
I'm going to start this podcast off just by saying if I sound a little rusty, I sound a little silly, or
Rally modern. Rally mutton. Rally mutton. Here's my sorts. Let me filter it today. I know perfectionist, but I like Siva.
Hey everybody, and welcome to a phenomenal wild ride with Steve-O. There's no other way to describe this. It tells me that I and flew on of the investment and not get it's from man. That's W whoop the wild train. Promo code.
Yeah.
Dude, that's like really cool. I mean, he was saying, dude, you're gonna do that, like. You can't ask me to get on a scale, and I was like, I don't think it would be like.
Actually, I weighed myself before in 540. I was 202, so they are a bit heavy.
Well, it's probably you got shit because like
I've got clothes on and these are a bit heavy, these shorts, but I haven't got nothing really in my pockets. Like, know what I mean?
And then, but you just ate. You probably drink water. That counts.
Oh yeah, I've drank a litre of water and that. But
I used to try to weigh myself and then eat eggs.
I always say you can't weigh yourself any other time apart from first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
Right.
If you're a fighter anyway, you know what I mean? We don't weigh ourselves apart from any other time as first thing in the morning.
But how do you lose?
I reckon if I got on the scales in the night, if I had got on the scales tonight after we've won a net and fucking watched the UFC,
209,
210 easy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I become pretty obsessive with weight.
I get bloated, lad. Like, I sit there and I get bloated. Someone was mentioned. Who said to me the other day? Who was it? I don't know if it was Graham. It was someone anyway, my manager or someone.
Dude, he's an impressive dude,
yeah,
Graham.
He's cool as fuck.
He is professional as fuck, dude. I am so impressed. You can't put two stars that big together. Just said that you cannot have. What fight was it? It's saying a champion from one division and a champion.
Let's watch one little podcast. Come on, guys. I'm not gonna say bye to you just quite yet. Bro, imagine I get heaps of people just chatting. That'd be cool. But we turn Sneaker into a drinking game. What is that thumbnail, bro? Talk to me. Talk to me. Let's watch this again.
Nah, little bro, Dennis, I'm more.
Call it a day, chat. It was a good time. I'm trying to do every day, do at least. How long did I do today? An hour. I'll come back, talk about maybe the Anderson Guild fight, just talk to you all, and yeah, this is the last video, and I'm tired as fuck, you ain't gonna lie.
Television streamer, most watched Twitch user in both 20. Spike is involving racist, homophobic, and sexist. Dude, Ahmad sent me that on Discord, and I thought they were trolling. Started is at 19. You know, watch online tournaments. Nah, this guy. Yeah, guys, this is just troll though. That's just troll. That's so weird. That is so weird. Only could be worse. That's really bad though. Racist and homophobic explicit content. Yes, that's cooked. How can it be worse? It's like It's really bad though. When did I do racist, explicit content, and homophobic, explicit content? None of these things even happened. None of these things happened. None of these happened, man. That is not real. That is not real. Jesus, man. But I cook them so hard. We got flash banged. Jesus, man, that is absolutely fucked though. Okay, that's odd. Lico got the clip? What clip? Valve.
Bro, there's songs playing in the background, so let's see if we can find any non-copy. I think a lot of it did like a whole thing really found.
Creating the ultimate memories sometimes means creating the toughest stains. Persil Ultimate is our most powerful laundry liquid. It attacks your toughest stains first time and whitens and brightens. Try Persil Ultimate, the gold standard in laundry.
Oh yeah, here's the logo playlist.
Your imagination.
This is the second time we've ever played in front of people, man. We're